Hello everyone, it's Alexandra. Thanks for joining me today for this video where I want to show you how to create some fun pockets for the journaling cards for your journals, and also share a few Craspire products which I have been playing with. Let's start with the wax seals that I have here. The stamp heads for those wax seals, and you will be able to find the links to these products in the description box down below. I think that Craspire has a really brilliant selection of stamp heads and designs which you probably will not be able to find anywhere else, and you can always use a coupon code and get a free shipping for orders above $50. This time I have got a few stamp heads, and although I have the handles attached to two of these designs, they came without the handles. Just bear that in mind. But if you already own a few wax seal stamp heads, you can probably reuse the handle for these as well. So this one I absolutely adore. This is a squirrel, and it is full of details. When you stamp it, I have here a few samples that I have created. So I think the best, you can see that it's a squirrel on the purple colored wax. The squirrel is really adorable, and I just needed to have that. The second one is this one with the flowers, and this is the first sort of shaped stamp head in my collection. I like how it turns out when you stamp it on wax. I only have here one sample to show you. I have decided to add little rhinestones to the centers of the flowers. And then what I really wanted to try out and to add to my collection are this kind of stamps. I have here 3 designs, and I also wanted to show you that each one of the ends of the stamps is different. So this one is kind of rounded shape, and the design is this. It is a dragonfly, very deep and detailed design. Then the next one is the sunflower. I love how it looks, and it's a decent size, guys. The diameter of this stamp is about ½ an inch, and that's really perfect for another technique that I am going to show you in my next sort of tutorial or tips video that I'm going to post soon. And then the third one, the third design, has a pair of mushrooms and some crystals right there with a little branch and leaves and probably some stars around the composition. I really like this one. And so the end of this stamp looks like this. It has sort of rounded, less distinct edge than the one with the sunflower. I really like this type of finish. Let me get back to the designs right here. So this is the dragonfly, and this one is the one with the mushrooms, and then the sunflower is right here. Very cute, and you can see that it fits just the tip of my finger. So they're really, really cute. I like the size of them. So today I wanted to show you how to create this sort of pockets for your journals. As you can see, it has a window. These pockets are some plain ones that I have created. And once I have made them, I thought that it would look even more interesting with a little add-on of the wax seal at the bottom right here. So I am going to provide you with the measurements for this pocket. I have prepared a few things ahead of time. So let me just tell you what exactly I have here. I am using craft cardstock, but the one that I'm using here is a little bit thinner than the one that I usually tend to use for my journals and tags that I prepare for these journals. So I have here 2 pieces of that craft cardstock, and each one of them measures 4.5 by 6.5. And then on the long side, each one of them is scored at 3 inches. So that's 2 of these. Then I have 2 additional pieces of that same craft cardstock, and each one measures 3 1/8 by 4 inches. Then as far as the pattern paper goes, I have prepared here a few pieces of paper, and I will be using today the sheets from the absolutely gorgeous Victoria Designs kit, which is called Vintage Birds. So I have already pre-cut my paper pieces, and 2 of them will have to measure 3 inches by 4 3/8. I have rounded the top pair of corners on these ones, and 2 additional pieces of pattern paper will have to measure 4 3/8 by 2 7/8. And I have also went ahead and rounded the top pair of corners. Then we'll also need 2 pieces of, in my case, I'm using the glassine paper. These measure roughly 4 inches by 2.5. And you will see why you might need to accommodate the measurements depending on the size of the punch. Yes, the paper punch that we will use for creating the opening in each one of the pockets. And I will be using today this punch, 1 3/4 circle punch. So I hope these are the supplies which are quite easy to find. I also have here a few tabs, and I have punched those with the help of this tab punch from We Are Memory Keepers. I will be using single layered tabs for my today's project. And of course, I will be using the envelope punch board. I just love to use it, and I think for this project it will be just perfect. So let's begin. We will take the larger cardstock pieces, and I will make sure to fold them along that score line that I have scored before. Make sure that you fold everything straight, that the edges are aligned, and once you align the edge either at the top or at the bottom, you're just going to run a bone folder over that fold. Okay, so once we have that folded, you will see that 1/2 of the future pocket is 1/2 inch longer than the second one. And that's because we want now to take our envelope punch board and put it like that in the board so that the longer section will be at the top. I will align the corner with a 2-inch mark and just punch it out, and then move it to this side and punch again to shape the left-hand side corner of this paper piece. I will do the same with the second paper piece. And for now, I will take the board aside, and I will take my self-healing mat and a ruler and a craft knife. And what I want to do is just to cut off this section of the paper piece that we have punched. Now I will get back to my envelope punch board, and I will use this side with the corner rounder to round the remaining square corners of this paper piece. We can set this aside again for now. Next we will take care of embellishing the sides of our future pocket, and the pieces, which are 4 3/8 by 3, we will glue down to the back. Now once that is done, I will flip the pockets to the front and glue the remaining 2 paper pieces to this front flap right here. Perfect. Now let's take care of the openings for the windows in our pockets. For that, you can of course use a die of any shape that you want that will fit right here on the front flap. I thought that it will be easy enough to use a circle punch, so I will be using once again a 1 3/4 inch punch. So I will just put my cardstock piece all the way to the bottom of the punch, and I will make sure that I align the paper with the sides of the punch and hold it somewhere in the center, and then punch a circle out. And then I will flip it like so and do the same thing on this end, and I will get this shape, sort of binoculars, right? This is how it looks. So I will then take again my ruler and a craft knife and my self-healing mat, and I will just trim these sections in order to create a nice rounded window like so. So let me do the same thing again. We have 2 of our bases ready. I will now take the glassine paper sheet that I have prepared, and first I will apply some glue around the opening or around the edge of the frame, and then I will apply it around the edge of my rectangular piece, and then just glue it down on top. That's the result so far. Let's do the same thing here. Oh yeah, and also don't forget to distress the edges of the opening. If you used distress inks for distressing the edges of the previous paper layers. We will next need to take care of the tabs. So I will be covering these tabs that were created with the envelope punch board with the tabs that I have created using tab punch. And that's because I want these tabs to stay right on the edge of the paper layer, and the fact that there is this piece which extends behind the tab simply reinforces it, and I think it's exactly what we need here for making the tab durable. So before I glue the tab down, I will go ahead and apply some glue to the sides of this front flap, and also at the area which is close to the fold in there. Now I will take my tab and I will first apply some glue to that extending part of the tab on the cardstock, and then just along the edge of the separate tab. And I will glue the tab right along the edge of the front flap of the pocket. Now I will flip it to the back, and I will apply the glue now only to the standalone tab, and then I will match both of the tabs and glue the tab on this side as well. That's what we have for now. Let's do the same with this envelope. The pockets are ready, and next we just want to create that card that goes inside the pocket. For that purpose, I have here the two remaining pieces of craft cardstock. They are 3 1/8 by 4. I will take each one of them, and in the punch board again, I will align the corner on the left hand side with a 2-inch mark and punch, and then move it sideways and round the tab. For some reason it doesn't work for me. Okay, so just like this. Let's do the same thing here. Let's do the same process of cutting that paper section off. And I will round this corner as well as the bottom corners. I will use again a piece of paper for matting both of the sides of these tab cards. I have prepared my paper pieces for matting the cards, and all of them have the birds, and each one of them measures 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. I will go ahead and use again that corner rounder in my punch board. After rounding the corners of your papers, you will distress the edges and glue each one of them to both sides of your tab card, which is exactly what I will do right now. Here we go. Next, we need to glue the standalone tab to our tab card. So the way you're going to do that is like this. You will slide the card inside the pocket, making sure that you align the top edge of the card with the edge of the pocket, and just look at the back flap in order to do that. So once you have that done, you will apply the glue to that extending tab onto the cardstock, and then along the edge of the standalone tab, and you will, just as before, glue it down like so, making sure that you start from the very edge of the front flap, just so that both of our tabs are at the same level. Now remove the card from the pocket and glue the second standalone tab to the back of this one. And now our card is ready, and we can put it back to the pocket. So this is how it looks. I have created these cards with the birds, but my camera wasn't filming when I was showing how to make them. For that reason, I had to redo that one card with a different paper, but I am going to use the birds for my cards here. So now comes the fun part, where we are going to create our additional embellishments for the pockets using the wax seals. So that's the stamp pad that I am going to use. And since my pockets have a lot of green, I think I will go with the green color of wax for the seals themselves. I will be using this kind of a emerald color. I have already popped 4 of the wax beads into my melting spoon, and I will prepare here another 4 since I have 2 pockets. While the wax is melting, I am going to create, first of all, an opening for sliding the ribbon through, and I'm using this, I think it's called a card slot punch. They can be purchased everywhere, like eBay, Amazon, anywhere. And now you will understand why we glued the bottom of our pocket down as well, although the card was not going to slide out of it anyways. And that's because I want to punch this opening here, and I don't want my card on the inside to go all the way to the bottom of the pocket. And I hope you also paid attention that I didn't leave it on the inside while actually punching the opening through. So I will do the same thing here, just like that. I will even remove the cards from the pockets for now. The wax is now melted. I am going to use some seam binding ribbon for the next step, and I will cut 2 pieces. I think these are about maybe 7 or 8 inches long. We will always be able to trim them down. Okay, so I am going to slide this ribbon. You know what? Let me distress this opening just a little bit because I can see that white core of the printed paper showing there. So I will slide the ribbon through that slot. It fits there nicely. Then I will take this ceramic tile that I have also got from Craspire, and I will fold the ribbon in half, and I will make sure that the ribbon is just above the ceramic tile. And now I will just want to see where exactly I want to pour the wax, right on that ribbon in there. And let's stamp. Okay, let it cool down. I will pop some more beads into the spoon for now. And while this is cooling down, I am going to take my silicone mat and slide the ribbon through the opening in the second pocket and prepare for pouring the wax onto this ribbon as well. Okay, now I think the wax is hot enough, and I think I can also release the stamp from the wax in there, and I will pour it onto this ribbon here right now. And again, use the stamp for stamping the impression of those beautiful flowers in here. Now let's wait till this cools down and look at the results. And by the way, while the spoon is still hot, you can wipe off the remaining wax and keep your spoon absolutely clean. Just make sure that you take enough of paper, because the spoon is very hot and you don't want to burn your fingers while you wipe it. Safety is above all. The ribbon is quite thin. That's why the heat and the amount of the wax that we poured onto it was enough to glue, to kind of seal both of the layers together, both of the layers of the ribbon, I mean. Just because I want to make sure that this doesn't separate, I will use a little staple. You know what, let's go ahead and cut off the edges of the ribbon here. So this is how it looks. And it was inspired by the vintage documents that have been sealed this way. Let me do the same thing here. Okay, I'm just making sure that no one will cut the fingers on that tiny staple. Okay, so here we go. Already it looks so interesting, so nice. I want to slide my cards in. Looks great. So I think I will really go ahead and do the same that I did right here. I really like how these look. And now you can either use some labels on the tabs, or maybe stamp them, or add more charms to the tabs there. I have used these black number labels and then covered them with a layer of glossy accents. So that's what I wanted to show you today. There will be another video showcasing this type of stamps. I hope this video was helpful as well. please don't forget to check out the selection of Craspire stamps. I will include the links to the products that I have from Craspire in the description below this video. I will include the links to the products, but that selection is definitely not limited by the ones that I have right here. The selection is really huge, and I am sure you will find something that you like for the theme of the project that you are working on. So that's it from me for today. See you soon in the next video. Bye!